We are back for the second week in a row, getting you inside of some brand new model homes and what I think is shaping up to be one of the most unique neighborhoods here in all of Houston, Texas. That's really why we came back. There's 9 different builders, and last week we showed you the first 2, but we also got to show you these crazy amenities. We're here in Two Step Farms in Montgomery, Texas, the birthplace of the Texas flag, and this place is authentically Texas. In fact, right behind me, they're finishing up construction on what I think is the coolest amenity we've seen in any master plan community in Houston. That is a 2-step dance hall. It's got a bar set up for neighborhood events, and it really is gonna be a staple of this community. And then right across the street, it's really set up like a small old school Texas town. You've got the co-op, and the co-op I'm really excited about because not only does it offer another event space for neighborhood events, but it's also a place where if you work from home, but you want to get out of that home office because you got little kids, you can just walk across the street and set up, grab you a glass of coffee, or if it's later in the day, you can actually get you a nice cold beer. We're here in Montgomery ISD, but more specifically, there's 2 high schools in Montgomery ISD, and a lot of people like Lake Creek. It's the newer of the 2 high schools. It's got a smaller, more intimate feel. And there hasn't been a new master plan community zoned to Lake Creek in a while. But what's surprising is these model homes have only been open for a couple of weeks now, and a lot of the first home buyers are moving from Wood Forest over here to Two Step Farms. But you're just 10 minutes from the back of the Woodlands, Texas, so you still have access to everything the Woodlands has to offer. If you want to go catch a concert up at Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, you can do that. Typically, these master plan communities, it takes 4, 5, 6 years for them to build up the shopping and all of that. But they picked a piece of land that was already smack dab next to a Target, your H-E-Bs, your new grocery stores, and you're about 10 minutes away from the entire shopping center that Wood Forest has spent 10 years waiting on. So now you don't have to wait on that. So I'm excited to get you in. We're gonna check out more builders today. We've got Highland Homes here. The neighborhood has a lot of different home options with the 9 different builders. They've got prices starting around 300 grand, going all the way up to this bad boy, which we're not gonna be showing you today. You're gonna have to stick around for one of our future videos because they're still finishing up inside. But this is Partners in Buildings model home, the most custom model home out here and also the most expensive. But it really just goes to show they've got something out here for everybody. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get you guys inside of our first house. Highland Homes is one of my personal favorite builders. We've had the opportunity to sell a lot of their homes, but I want to point out today a lot of the things that I love about them. We're in their 60-foot model home, but here in Two Step Farms, they're building on a 60-foot lot, and then right next door, they've got a model home where they're building on 50-foot lots. We usually wait to tell you pricing on these homes till the end, but we thought we'd flip it up today to keep you sticking around for a little bit more. So the home that we're gonna be checking out today, when it's all said and done, would probably come in around $750,000. Now, if that's not your budget, that's okay, because we've got so many different options for you today. But this home is really decked out for $750,000. It's right around 3,000 square feet, and what makes it unique is it's a 4-bedroom, 1-story. So you've got all the bedrooms and the bonus rooms here on the first floor. And you get a really nice kind of open concept feel, but look at the finish work in here. You've got extra details at $750,000 that even we're not used to seeing here in the Houston market. So Highland does things differently. They've got a little bit more of a ornate feel. This is a woman-owned company, and I think you can see her stamp on it. It's just a little bit different. And their floor plans are very thoughtful, very unique. So you do have these dark real wood floors in here in the model home. And then they're partnered up with this actual, darker wood kitchen island. Now they do have the 2-tone cabinets. So they got the white with the dark. And I like this. It's not technically a built-in fridge, but the compartment for it is slid in nicely where it kind of looks like it's built in, tucked in over here. You're gonna have a lot of different options with Highland as far as picking out what appliances you want. So you can definitely upgrade these. These are kind of their base package, but you still have the double oven over here. Not only do you have the island, but you've got the peninsula that connects over there. So you got a lot of counter space in this kitchen. You even have your little pop-up plugs, clear glass cabinets up top with the ornate lights for you to showcase some cool pieces. And then I love the drawers underneath. Now tucked back over here, that's gonna lead you over to your garage, but we're gonna circle back to that because you're gonna see how this home flows really nicely here in just a second. You do have a pantry off of the kitchen, decent size, I would say for 3,000 square feet. It's plenty of space. Because it's a 1-story, you got really tall ceilings. These are at least 14 feet tall. I think they are 14, and you'll notice up there you even have the built-in speakers. So they got the surround sound going all the way through. Now this is kind of unique. They almost have a second formal sitting area with a fireplace here in this main living room. You'll notice this isn't where you'd watch the TV. You've got the actual kind of real living room tucked in over there. So this could be flexible. You could put a bar cart over near this window. I don't really see why you would do like a circular kitchenette table over here, because right over here you've got the dining. And it's just so close to the kitchen. I don't see you really eating anywhere else unless you're going for something a little bit more casual. And then you've got the 4 bar stools kind of posted up over here. So this was a really popular floor plan that Highland was building under their luxury product called Huntington. It feels very similar in the nicer section of Wood Forest. So this product sold really well, and so it makes sense that they brought it over here to Two Step Farms. So one thing Highland's known for is they've got these sliders. Their sliders are different than a lot of the other builders. One thing I like about the other builder sliders is they give you more room to work with, but I will say these look really classy. They're nice and tall. It almost gives you full windows all across the back of the home, and they have not one, but they've got 2. And these things aren't inexpensive. These things are $12,000, $15,000 a pop. And if you were to opt for just standalone windows, you still have a door right here that connects you outside. But let's open this patio up and see what it's all about. Now, this is the model home park, so we're working with a little bit smaller lots here. And because of the elevation change, you can kind of see the neighbors over here. That's not what most of the lots out here are gonna be like. In fact, one of the benefits of getting out here so early is you can pick your lot out. So you can go and pick that big pie-shaped cul-de-sac lot, pick the floor plan, pick everything out, and really build kind of that long-term family home if that's what you're looking for. It's also a lot of people retiring and downsizing moving over here. It's just so conveniently located, and people are just really confident that the home values here are gonna go up. And I mentioned it in last week's video, but if you didn't catch it, I'm gonna double down. I hate the fences here in Houston.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Except for these. These are pretty cool. They actually went with a metal railed or metal poled fence. They're gonna last a lot longer, and they're horizontal. They're still cedar, but they're treated, they're painted, and they're supported with metal posts, which is gonna make them last a lot longer. Now, this is a huge covered back patio. As I mentioned on this model, not much yard over here, but there is something hiding in the corner that I wanna show you. So you've got this additional seating area over here, which is really nice. But tucked back down in that corner over there, you'll notice a home generator. Now, in an ideal world, nobody needs a home generator because you have perfect power. But here in Texas, with all the growth and with the storms that we occasionally see, it's nice to have that backup system. And all of the homes here in Two Step Farms, no matter what builder, are ready for backup power. So they're pre-wired and everything for you to just come over and set up that generator, which is really nice because the developer mandated that. So you don't have to spend that extra money. You can guarantee that your home is ready to just connect. Now, they don't have a TV set up over here, but I think it's pretty evident that that would be where you would put a TV over here in this living room setup. Now, without it, it definitely makes it a little bit more old school, where you sit and actually face and speak with one another. I don't know, I feel like this was before my time, but maybe like in the 70s, like where you have to like bring your prom date and like introduce them to your family. I don't know, maybe that's just me. That's what I'm seeing with this family setup over here. And then check out just how tall these sliders are. Yeah, these are 11, at least 10 foot, at least 10 foot. And then I'll show you again. How nice is that? To be able to just open up the home, especially now. We're getting this fall weather. Guys, the weather has been some of the best weather the past couple of weeks. The humidity's kind of gone away, and I'm telling you, if we had this year round, our prices would be double what they are right now. Now, before we get you in the master, I'm gonna show you all the little nooks and crannies. I think it's important in these homes for you to see what you get. And if this is too much for you guys, stick around, because we got some homes here in just a minute that are gonna come in at a little bit more affordable price tag that I think are gonna be a great option for you. But man, if you have the budget, it doesn't get much better than this. Look at these ceilings. They're kicked up nice and high, going all the way up to 12 feet. And I love that Highland does the wood paneling. I bring this up anytime we're filming their houses, but this isn't sheetrock. They actually paneled wood all the way around. They spent the money on a trim carpenter, and it just really elevates the look and feel of their homes. They did a great job. They've got the real wood floors coming in here too. But this big bump out bay window, I mean, this isn't just like a little reading area. You got a full sofa in your room. Now, bathroom space is important to me. I hate when the bathrooms feel, crammed and tight. That's not what's going on here. Everybody has their own space. You've got the freestanding tub here, and then you've got the kind of makeup counter, pull-out stool here. Here's the main thing. Plenty of storage. Love the storage. Definitely a non-negotiable for me. Let's see this. Oh, cool. So they have a panel pulled off of this right now. I wonder what that's for. I wonder if that's like for, Somebody let me know in the comments below why they would have this. Anyone? Keith, any takers? I don't know. I was thinking dirty clothes or something, but I don't know if you put your dirty clothes there. You probably put them right over through here. Meet me right through here. You got this little shower glass over here. You got no shower bench, so no place to sit, but it is nice. Pretty good. You got the handle here so you're not getting sprayed. And then you have not one, but you've got 2 areas for your shampoo bottles. That's clutch too, by the way. Like, nobody uses just 1 bottle of shampoo. My wife has like 40. So you need the extra storage. Dual vanities over here, big old framed out mirrors. Man, I'm loving the ceiling height, but another thing you'll notice with Highland, especially this house is 750 grand, this is killer. You're getting fully built out closets. You've got metal rails, not the cheap wood ones that give your kids splinters when they hang and fall off. You got built-in over here. You've got really tons of space, but come over here, Keith, and flip around and show them what we're working with over here. Check that out. Built in all the way up, tons of storage, good for your shoes, and we're not done. This is all a 1-story, so that sneaks through. You got your laundry room over there, which we'll check out in a second, but this is your downstairs half bath, so not too far off the living, but all of the secondary bedrooms feel like they have their own space. They're kind of in their own section of the house. Really good noise barrier, and then look at this, full ensuite. Love the tile in there. Got the walk-in shower set up. And then decent closet space over here. The main thing though is gonna be the ceiling height down here. Having 12-foot ceilings in your bedrooms, it really kind of opens them up because these bedrooms are good size. They're not the biggest I've ever seen. I'd say they're slightly above average, but they're really killer because of how open they feel. Now here's gonna be your laundry room. As you can see, it connects to the kitchen. So that's where we were standing just a moment ago. So it loops all the way around. So you've got direct access from the laundry room over to your master closet, which is great. And then if you just snake through right over here, this is gonna be your garage. But they have it set up for you to come in with us and take a look at some of these homes. And check this out. One thing, Highland was the first to do this, but they've got all their floor plans right here. So we are in the Kent floor plan, I believe. Actually, let me correct myself. I don't know. I think we're in the Kent. We're right around 3,000 square foot, 1-story. Pretty cool setup, but you can click on these floor plans when you come in here. Even though this isn't a fully custom builder, they've got tons of options for you. So you could add the sliding glass door and see it switches it out. Fireplace at the family room. It adds the fireplace, we can take it back away. So pretty cool. Tons of different floor plans, tons of different options. And then they also have the community map of Two-Step Farms. So it shows you where they've got their parks, open spaces, their trails, all the different home builders. And here we are right here in the model home park, right next to the co-op, right next to the dance hall. But there's gonna be lakes over here, the pool, and it's gonna be really, really cool setup. They're also making it easier to access. Right now, when you come out here, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the prettiest drive in, but they're working on that. And here pretty shortly, they should have a road completed that connects all the way from the front of Two-Step Farms all the way over to Fish Creek Thoroughfare, which is where Wood Forest is. And that's gonna make it really convenient to get over to all of your different shopping. So if you'll notice, we just went in a big loop. I think we're done with the main part of the house. We've got the master back there, showed you the patio, we showed you the secondary bedroom, but take a look down this hallway. Now everything else is kind of up here at the front of the house, and these homes are compartmentalized, which I appreciate in a 1-story, because so many homes that are this size, all of the bedrooms are just kind of off the main living room, and it's not how it feels here. So it's gonna cut down on sound, give everybody really their own space. So this is your 3rd bedroom. It's a full ensuite as well. The closet in this one's a little bit bigger. They're rocking a full-size bed here and still giving you this nice window. You could do a queen, but it would cut it a little bit short with that nightstand over there. And then back through here, this one actually has a shower tub combo. You're gonna be able to pick whether or not you want showers or tubs in each bedroom, so you can set it up, and you even have more storage over there. Now, I say it all the time, it's really important for me in a 1-story to have some kind of secondary space on that first floor to hang out and get away, decompress, and you have that here. You have actually a lot of space. This is a huge room, and Highland's designers kill it. They always do something unique and creative with some color, sets their homes apart. I mean, I would have never picked this blue diamond-shaped carpet, but it looks really good. It really does. So, fully enclosed media room. You got surround sound. You can put up a big projector here. Not quite big enough for my golf simulator, but still pretty good size room in the scheme of things. And check these doors out. These are nice. Got this black steel with the frosted glass. Pretty sweet setup. And then up here, you've got the double front doors. Really, really nice, solid steel. You could frost these if you want for privacy. I probably would. Just, you know, you are in a master plan community, got a lot of neighbors, Amazon guys coming up with packages. I like my house to be nice and private. And Highland does this in all their models, but they offer this to you as well. But you can get these plantation shutters that look great. Got a full-size bed in here, huge ceilings. And then check that out. You've got another ensuite. So it's really a 4-bed, 4.5 bath home. Tons of space. You got your closet tucked in right over here. And that's not all, guys. You still have this front office. Got the built-ins added in. Now it's a little darker in here. They did that on purpose. They got the drapes, but they added the white beams, still have the really tall ceilings. And so really this checks so many boxes. If you want a 2-story, Highland's gonna have homes that get all the way up over that 4,000 square foot mark. And if you're wanting a 1-story, but you still want a 60-foot lot, they're gonna have some really great floor plans that start just under that 3,000 square foot. And as I mentioned, if the 60-foot product doesn't make sense for you or it's a little too pricey, they've got a 50-foot product right next door. And I've shown you guys this before, but just to explain it, whenever we're talking about product sizes, if we say it's a 60-foot lot or a 40-foot lot or an 80-foot lot, that's how the developer advertises the lot size. But really what they're talking about is if this is the street, they're talking about the front width of the lot. And so in a 60-foot product, the width of the lot is 60 feet. And what that means is there's a 5-foot build line on both sides. So if it's a 60-foot lot, the house itself is 50 feet wide. And that's really gonna dictate what the architects are able to do when it comes to a design perspective. So you'll notice as we check out different houses today, if they're different product sizes, that the bigger the lot size, the wider it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that that floor plan is bigger, but it means that it's got a wider floor plan so that they can do some different configurations so the whole thing doesn't feel like a nice kind of tight, narrow shotgun house. It can really open up. So that's it for this Highland 60. I'll walk you through pricing as we head on over to our next house. I told you at the beginning of this walkthrough that that exact Highland would be about $750,000, but their prices start closer to $650,000. Their base prices start a little bit lower, and you can get homes just under 3,000 square feet, and then you're gonna be able to go all the way up to their 4,000 square foot product, which is gonna be closer if you fully deck it out to that $850,000 number. So $650,000 to $850,000 with Highland Homes, getting you that home warranty, getting you a lot of those really nice custom finishes. I think is a sweet spot for what you can expect with different home builders out here in Two-Step Farms. But as we walk down here to our next builder, I just want to cast a vision for what this place is going to be. We've already talked about last week and this week as well what a lot of these amenities are going to look like. But what's really cool is they're continuing to add on. They actually have plans for a wellness center. And we don't have all of the specifics, but it's gonna go far beyond just a neighborhood gym. You've probably seen these lifestyle centers popping up left and right where you can go in and you can do your cryotherapy or your cold plunges or your compression leg socks or your biometric scanners and stuff like that. Essentially, it's gonna be that, but here in the neighborhood. You're gonna have access to that wellness center. And what we're waiting to hear back from on the developer right now is they've also acquired a 9-hole golf course. And so we're trying to figure out whether or not that's gonna be on the radar for out here in Two-Step Farms. So we'll keep you posted in next week's video if we hear back on that. And that's why you're gonna have to stick around, because how cool would that be if they had that in the neighborhood? And a lot of developers will do that in phases. We're in phase 1 right now. You've got the model home park in, you've got the goat farm going in right over here. In fact, pan over here, Keith. So this whole section right next to the model homes is where the goats are gonna be. So open year round, the kids can come up here. Sure, it's an attraction to get you up here to come and check out some homes, but once you actually move in and live in the neighborhood, you're gonna be able to come up here and hang out, and they're even constructing the little, I guess, goat pen or shelter that they live in. Now, we've been passing a bunch of houses. This is the Perry home that we showed you in last week's video. They're 2-story. They've got a 1-story 50-foot option as well, where you're gonna have prices closer to that $500,000 price point. We also passed the Highland 50-foot product. What I wanted to do, before we go low on price, we gotta go up just a little bit, but it's gonna be totally worth it. We showed you Drees' 70-foot product last week that has the alley access. But this week, we're gonna show you their Signature Series, which is also a 70-foot product, but it's just your normal front-load garages, just like you're used to seeing in all the other neighborhoods here in Houston. But this home in particular is absolutely sweet. Check out this exterior of it. It's got a totally different look, totally different elevation than what we saw with that wraparound porch, really showcasing what Drees can do for you. Drees is definitely one of the more custom builders that we're gonna have here in the neighborhood. As I mentioned last week, they are willing to move walls around for you and do those little extra tidbits that a lot of these other builders are just gonna tell you no to. So I'm gonna wait until we get done with this home to walk you through pricing with Drees in their 70-foot product line, but I'm telling you, they've got some killer finishes. And before we get you inside, if you don't already know, my name's Kyler Ferris. We make these videos for you every single week so that you can know about what's going on here in Houston. I run Ferris Realty. We're the #1 relocation team here in the entire Houston area. And we help hundreds of people a year actually purchase homes here in the Houston area from our YouTube channel. So if you're thinking about moving here, you're in the right spot. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us a quick email, and that way we can help you guys make a smooth move right here to Houston, Texas. Now let's get you inside and check out this house. I'm telling you, this home is killer, and it's completely different than what Drees showcased last week, and that's what is so cool about it. Now, there's a lot to cover up here at the front of the house, but we're gonna skip it. We're gonna circle back to this. I want you to see the interior of this home. You got the wood beams above us, but then it opens up into this nice cathedral ceiling. You got your wine showcase that immediately catches your eyes as you come in through those double front doors. But here in the back of the house, you've got your big family room, your big open concept. And I just like the colors and the textures that they chose here. Now, a lot of times that just comes down to what you pick in the design center. That's not necessarily, doesn't have anything to do with the floor plan or even necessarily the builder, but it is cool here in Two Step Farms that we're seeing the builders kind of change things up a bit, flare it up. You know, for so many years, everything was just black and white, and it's cool that they're bringing in kind of these leathers and earth tones, bringing the natural stone into the house. But my eyes are immediately drawn to those kitchen cabinets. Those are sweet. Let's go check those out. And then these are really cool showpieces. Swing around over here, Keith. Let's get them inside. These are showpieces. I never know whether or not I'd really want these with little kids. It's a lot of glass to keep clean. But if you got, you know, if the kids are older or grown up, you're not worried about them getting into your liquor and stuff like that, then this is a pretty cool setup. You know, if you want to host, got you a wine fridge over here so you can keep your wines at different temperatures. You don't have to have this in this floor plan, you know, but if you like to host and have a good time, it's definitely a cool showpiece. And then they do have the option to put a lock down here at the bottom too. So if you wanted it, but you do have little kids or high school kids, you can still lock that up. Living room's a good setup. I like it. Now, these are the sliders that really open up the back of the house. They're not quite as tall as what we saw over in the Highland, but they definitely open up and give you a little bit more clearance as you're trying to go in and out of the house. And then they've got this electric fireplace, which we've seen grow really popular. I personally like the gas. I've told you that before. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. If you think that's cool looking, I agree. But I think when it comes down to it, I want a fireplace for the fire. I want a real flame in there. So got your kitchen. You got a little kind of minor touches that we don't see very often. I like that they did a black beadboard over here. That's pretty cool. We installed this upstairs, just gives it a little bit more texture. Still slide-in fridges, but they got KitchenAid appliances. I have these, they're nice. But they took these cabinets all the way up to the ceiling. I think it's a really great look. And it's these little details. I don't see this very often. In fact, I don't know if we've ever shown this off, Keith. So usually you either have a backsplash or they'll take the same material as the countertops all the way up the wall. But here you got this little extra ledge. So that's pretty cool. And it carries all the way around over to here. So now, normally I like a video that flows really nice, but this house, we've got to take a quick detour to show you one of the coolest things I've seen in a house in a long time. So coming back over here, you've got your pantry set up, right? Huge pantry, tons of built-ins, you got cabinets. What's great about this pantry is it's very much a working pantry. And what that means is you've got a countertop where you can have your appliances all plugged in and you can use them. You've got plugs here, but you can kind of leave this a mess and you can just close this door up behind you and you don't have to worry about making a mess in your kitchen. You also have a little soaker sink over here. Not even sure what this would be used for since you got the huge kitchen sink, and this isn't a laundry room sink. So you got an extra sink over here. You could do a little coffee setup over here, but I don't think you need to because you can hide it all back in there. But this is where it gets really cool to me. This is a mixed mudroom / laundry room. It comes off of the garage and it is huge. I love the amount of space you have in here. You've got multiple countertops, lots of storage. The hanging rack that was missing last week, you have that in this home. You can have a shelf to display the Texas flag in honor of being in Montgomery, Texas, the birthplace of the Texas flag. So I think that's really cool. I like the washer dryers. We've been seeing them up on pedestals lately, and I really think we need to get some of these. Plenty of cabinet storage. Here's your soaker sink. So why do you have that one? I don't know, it's just extra, it's a bonus sink. Then you've got your landing area, which is pretty common to see coming in from the garage. And then they're mixing and matching the white with the white oak. And then over here, another wine fridge, a little drink fridge, whatever you want to use it for. Your Topo Chicos here in Texas, what we like to drink. So I love it. And then now you've got the double ovens here. These are KitchenAid as well. Check that out, inside's blue. They went with a more modern vent hood, which I think is a pretty cool setup. And then I love the knobs on the top. Kids can't get to them, but I still can't get over this. I don't see this very often. I really think I like it. I have never seen this sink in my life, which is rare, because typically what you'll see is kind of this farmhouse sink in porcelain, or you'll see this kind of quartz sink where it's recessed down into the countertops. But this is kind of an apron front quartz sink, so I haven't seen that. I don't know, the jury's out. I think it looks pretty good personally. It's good to see you got other options, and then great sight lines over to where the TV would be. They don't have one set up over here. And then a lot of times this kind of kitchenette dining space is cramped. This is massive. I mean, this is wide open. They brought this texture from outside inside. I think this is a nice feature with the wood, but this is killer. What do you think of the circle table, guys? This is a 6-seater circle table. I think it's good. I really like the idea. You just can't fit these in many houses, and that just goes to show really how big this space is. And I'm excited to show you this yard because it is bigger than the last one that we showed. The last one was a little bit dinky in my opinion, so it didn't really represent what you can get for your money here. Now, normally you would go through this door, but let's be honest, we're here for the sliders. So this back patio is the standard patio that comes with this home. They did add the tile down here instead of unfinished concrete. And you've got your gas line run for you to build your outdoor kitchen, plenty of plugs, surround sound. And what's nice is that top beam of that cathedral ceiling comes all the way through. Now, this is not a standard feature out here, but I do like it. They turfed in the backyard. So we have turf in our backyard. If you're considering getting turf in your backyard, it's definitely great, except it gets super, super hot in the summer. So you're gonna wanna sprinkler it off for sure. But overall, great place to play cornhole. You do have room for a pool here. You don't have to have a pool out here though, because we've got the pool taken care of for you up at the amenity center. And then these are those metal posts that I was talking about. They're aluminum. These are gonna keep your fence up a lot longer than the wood. Unfortunately, a lot of the cedar just kind of rots away. You have a home generator tucked in over here. I'll show you this one. This one's a little easier for us to access. And some of these builders right now, when you buy out here, are actually including the home generator in. So if you reach out to us, ask us about that, and we'll let you know which builders are offering those incentives right now. But it's really nice to have one of these. It takes about 60 seconds for them to click on if the power does go out, and then you're cruising. You don't have to worry about the air conditioner going off. And they'll size them to run everything. What do we got here? Let's show the people, Keith. Kick off your home search sales event with Drees Homes, 3.75% interest rate in the first year. So they're doing a 1-year buy down up front. Guys, interest rates have sucked for 2-3 years now. We've been waiting and waiting for them to come down, and they just really haven't done what we were thinking. But I'll tell you, these builders have not only lowered their prices, but they continue to buy down these interest rates, which is why our business really hasn't slowed down, because we focus so much on these new construction communities and we've got such good relationships with these builders. If we didn't, we'd be hurting a little bit right now. But thankfully, thanks to you guys being so loyal and reaching out to us when you do move to Houston and make those home purchases, our business is booming, and that gives us the resources we need to pour into these videos to really help you guys out and to build great relationships with these builders. Now, we're faced with a couple options. We can either go that way, but I think we're gonna start over here with the master bedroom. This being a 1-story at about 3,700 square feet, It's bigger than the one we saw next door. It's wider than the one we saw next door by 10 feet. So you come on through here, you got 8-foot doors. Let me see, pretty solid. And then these are actually the same doors we saw over in the Highland. But let's check out this bathroom. So I have the same exact cabinets over at my house with the same countertop, so I'm very familiar with this look and feel. Now this is a bigger tub than what I see in most homes. We've seen this in a handful of homes. I think we gotta show it off, Keith. Like I told y'all, I'm 6'7" and my feet don't even touch, so this is crazy. Ugh. Let's see what else we got. We got a sliver of a shower bench. So we've got, hey, you know what? I'll take it. I'm not gonna be too picky. You could argue that this is a place for shampoo, but if you got a tiny hiney, like your boy, look at that. I don't know if I would ever sit here, but it is positioned right above my head, which is perfect. So now this is a full glass enclosure. It's not a half wall or anything, so you'll notice it's nice and clean, a lot of glass to clean. Overall, pretty cool. Just taking it all in, guys, taking it all in. One thing I want to point out, when the builders build these things, I've had clients like, oh my gosh, they made it sloped. Listen, they make these things sloped on purpose, okay? For you geometry nerds. I don't know if you remember rise over run, but the water needs to run off this. It doesn't need to just sit on these things. But I will agree with you that sometimes they can be too sloped, okay? You're not looking for a slide, you're looking for a seat with a slight angle, but they are crooked on purpose. So don't freak out when the builder puts your bench in and it's angled down like an inch. Huge linen closet. This thing is massive, really do like that. Decent little toilet room. And then you know we're a big fan of judging the closets. I don't know if I threw a rating on that last closet. That last closet was pretty killer. I liked the metal rods, but they kind of did the same thing in here. But they even have the third row upgraded. I've shown you guys this before, but this is pretty killer. Look at this. Just pull this down, spring loaded. Show you how it works. Love that. Love that. It gives you access to that top deck. So, I mean, this is really, wow. I was about to give it like a 10. I think we just downgraded it. They got some work to do. All right, so I was gonna give it like one of the highest closet ratings, but they gotta come back and fix that. I'm gonna give it an 8. And just so you know, guys, that's a good thing to point out. Don't be overly critical on these builders. They give you a home warranty for a reason. Okay, you're gonna move in, we're gonna do a blue tape walkthrough with you. We're gonna walk the house a week before closing. We're gonna make sure that you're really happy with your home. But if silly little stuff like that happens, they're gonna come right back out. They're just gonna call their cabinet company at no charge, and they're gonna come out and fix that and make sure that you're totally happy. So there's always gonna be little stuff when you're doing these home builds, guys. But overall, yeah, I'm gonna give this closet an 8 out of 10. Let's go check out the rest of the house. Now we gotta swing back through the kitchen. Because 2 of your other bedrooms have their own little section of the house. Now, they are pretty close to this main living area, but I like how the hallways kind of snake around, so I do think you're gonna have a little bit of noise, privacy, and overall, rooms are good size. You got 10-foot ceilings in here. This is a queen bed, not a full. I got it right today, Keith. I got it right. That's a queen bed. Is that a queen bed? That's a queen bed, dude. I'll fight you on that one. Let me get the light on for you guys. So, good sized bedrooms over here. You got the whole dog wall thing going on. I like the continuation of the whole country theme. And then you got ensuite bathrooms. So there is no way, this is definitely a queen bed. Okay, Keith's finally shaking his head. This is the same size as that other one. All right, I'll fight Keith after this, guys. We won't drag y'all into this. Let me know in the comments below if you know if that other one is a queen bed or not. I hope somebody like actually still frames it and like analyzes it and uses like Google Measure on it and just tells me I'm wrong. I would love that, so. All right, so we're headed back up to the front of the house. I just want you to note, look at how wide these hallways are. I don't really like that shotgun feel where everything runs front to back, and this home doesn't feel that way because it's so open. And here is a massive media room. So a lot of cool textures on the walls, but the main thing is You've got total privacy, no light pollution, full surround sound built in. Look, you even have the speakers flush mounted into the wall, which is a nice look. So close these doors up and have yourself a movie night. Crank up those subwoofers, watch a scary movie. Now, they got something a little interesting going on over here. They've got this kind of split level. I don't know about it. And the only reason I think it's cool, but there's really no upside to it. There is a downside if you've got like older people living here or little kids, you know, tripping over this and stuff. So we'll circle back to this. I do want to show you, you got your fourth and final bedroom up at the front of the house. That is definitely a queen bed, and this room is huge. This room's got a lot of space over here. And then I really like what they've got going on in the bathroom. They match the floor tile to the little shampoo cubby tile. Now, as far as flooring goes in here, I need to do a check. Okay, this is a wood look laminate. So it's not real wood. It looks pretty real though. The only thing keeping it from looking super real to me is the tone is a little bit more gray than a natural wood tone. This is gonna be your downstairs half bath, and you'll notice I really like the sink setup. So it's like a full quartz sink, but it's like a pedestal, and then they did the shiplap. You got really wide doors in this house too, so a lot of storage, linen closet up front. But this is a killer office. Check out these ceilings going all the way up to 12, 14 feet, and lots of natural light, staring straight through at the goats. Guys, that's where the goats are gonna be. And I was just on the phone with the developer, and she gave me a lot of good nuggets, a lot of good insights that I didn't know before we came out here. So when they bought this land and they went to clear it, they had 500 goats out here. They said, you know what, instead of just using all the normal machinery, why don't we just set these guys free and let them roam naturally and graze while we're getting this land ready? And that's exactly what they did. And the goats that they're gonna be using over here though are not the same goats. I didn't know this, she didn't know this, but she told me they got the friendly goats, specifically for kids to come up and pet, play in the petting zoo. It's basically a petting zoo for goats. So those goats are gonna be right up here, right next to the co-op and right next to the grazery. And so they've got a lot of really cool stuff, all tucked into this one little area over here. So you've got the home office. These aren't built-ins. This is just kind of aftermarket, but Drees is gonna be able to do built-ins for you. So if that's what you're looking for, you're definitely gonna have some good options. So yeah, that's it for this Drees 70-foot model home. You've got two options when it comes to Drees out here. You can go with that alley load garage in that showcase series, or you can come over here and go with this signature series. The jury's still out in my opinion. I have not seen one of these alley series homes anywhere in Houston. As I've told y'all, it's a big thing up in Dallas. But what I really like specifically about going with the signature series is they have some special lots that back up to a lake. It's not one of those ponds that they dig up over in Cyprus. This is an existing lake that's been here for a while that's gonna be really pretty. And the cool part is the location of where these Dreeses are gonna be. They're gonna be right down the street from the pool. So you'll have really great access over to that neighborhood pool once they get that completely built. I'm curious what you guys think after seeing inside this Drees and comparing it over to the Highland. Now, obviously this is a larger product. This was about 3,700 square feet, and the lot itself is 10 feet wider, so you're really gonna see it. That home is very substantial from the front. It looks more like a rectangle than a square, so it is wide, but it has a really nice front elevation. Comparing it to last week, if you're going for more of that wraparound porch farmhouse style, they have that over in that other series, in the showcase series, but this is one of their many different options here in their signature series. Now, this exact home, we wanna be really specific on pricing. Throw the shades on because it's sunny out, and it's gorgeous out, by the way. And tell you, this home would probably run with all the finishes you saw at 3,700 square feet on a 70-foot lot, about $900,000. Now, this house has a lot of really custom features in it. Realistically, in their smaller size products, not going crazy in the design center, you could probably start around $750, go all the way up to $1 million, being in their 4,000 square foot plus product. So if you're in that $750,000 to $1 million range, Drees is gonna be a great option. And one of the reasons they can get up to that $1 million range is because they have some lake lot options. Very few of them are out here. And as I mentioned, these are real lake lots. These aren't the retention ponds that you're used to seeing. You've got the trees around you. It really is a nice setup. And if you're looking for something a little bit more approachable, but still very nice, that Highlands got you covered. And there are so many different home options out here. And that is why we're gonna be featuring another video next week. So stay tuned for that. But I got one more thing for you guys. I had told you about the golf course. Well, I ended up on the phone with the marketing company for the developer, and they actually have acquired the entire Grand Lakes golf course. Now, to be clear, they don't know what their future plans for that are gonna look like, but this changes everything. If you wanted a master plan community with a golf course, there's really only been two that I can think of. You've got Wood Forest right down the street, which has awesome features, and then you also have the Highlands over in Porter. But to have this right here in Montgomery, zoned to the great schools, with all of the cool amenities that they're building in, and be able to golf cart over to an established golf course, it doesn't get much better than that, guys. And so, as I mentioned, we're not sure what the future plans will hold, but the developer does control that golf course, and they have plans to allow you to be able to hop in your golf cart and go from your front door to that golf course. Now, I will say this, they still have a lot of land to develop over the next 3 or 4 years before that really becomes a reality. But if down the road golfing's in your future and you're hoping to check off that box, you are gonna be able to do that right here in Two-Step Farms. So go check out our video from last week, and if this video has been posted for a week, we'll throw next week's video right here. And as always, if you're thinking about moving to Houston, don't be shy. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us a quick email. That way we can help you make a smooth move right here to Montgomery, Texas.